Farscape, the only show in which one of the main characters can have flaming pee. Anyway, my name is Keith R.A. DeCandido. I'm writing the Farscape comic books that Boom Studios is doing. If you're not familiar with them, come down to booth 2543 at some point during the weekend. I'll be there, except, when I'm here. And let me introduce you to the rest of the panel who are far more interesting than I am. First of all, Brian Henson. Claudia Black. Ben Browder. Ben got a different dressing memo than the rest of us. And the show's creator, Rockne S. O'Bannon. I just want to say it's a real thrill. I've met Ben, Claudia, and Rockne before, but I haven't met Brian before now, and it's a real honor to be on the same stage as this man. Brian's the chairman of the Jim Henson Company and served as the executive producer on Farscape. Currently, he's executive producer of the Emmy-nominated preschool series Sid the Science Kid and an upcoming preschool series called Dinosaur Train, both for PBS. And Claudia, in addition to, being Aaron's son, she just did a movie called Rango with surprise Comic-Con guest Johnny Depp, which is directed by Pirates of the Caribbean's Gore Verbinski. She also acted in Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, a Sony PS3 game which won Best Show at E3 this year. Best in Show. And she's developing a show called Inc. That's INC, as in the abbreviation for Incorporated, which will also have a graphic novel component, and it has a Twitter feed called Inc. Series, INC Series. So everybody, get out your iPhones and your Blackberries and check it out. As for Ben, he's starring in a feature to be shot this fall entitled Freeze Frame, which I'm sure he'll talk at great length about given half a chance. And he's under contract with Sci-Fi to write and star in a 4-hour miniseries entitled Going Homer. As for Rockne, I don't know what he's doing. No, Rockne's actually plotting the Farscape comics that I'm scripting that are continuing the story after the Peacekeeper Wars. He's also continuing to develop incredibly cool TV shows, which will be almost as cool as Farscape, probably. One other frequently asked question that has come up is about the webisodes. So what can you guys tell us about those?
You want me to start? Well, I can start. Well, it's been it's a tough time right now economically for everybody. What we have with the webisodes, because I know we've been talking about this for a year, is really good creative work. We're basically all set to make them, and they will be great. And Rockne's been working with Ricky Manning, and they're going to be great. It's a tough time right now to finance anything, so right now we're still working on raising the money. I'm just being completely honest. It's a tough time to be raising money for anything, but we are poised to go, and Rockne has been working on the comic books. I guess we're going to talk about those, and the webisodes pick up from the period after the comic books. And there's a whole lot more Farscape in the Farscape universe for us to mine, and we are all excited to get back in there. And it's been a bit of a slightly weird time economically in the last couple of years, as everybody knows.
The tough look. Farscape was big for a television series. What we've been working really hard on and really kind of honing the story, etc., is to create something that obviously can be done on the web in our webisodes and obviously little 4 or 5 minute segments that is Farscape. So it isn't something that's a lesser version. And it's been tough because the original Farscape was big even for regular television. So it's what we've wrestled with and come up with a story that we're real excited about. Suits that really well, and now it's just a matter of battlefield.
Andy Home Video actually set up a thing on the web so people could send in questions. So we're going to do some of those. But also, if any of you have questions, there's a microphone over there, I think. Yeah. So if you have questions you want to ask, line up. We're going to alternate between questions from the web and questions from the audience. I'm going to start with one from the website that was sent in by David Leslie from Gahanna, Ohio, who has a question for Ben and Claudia. Which is, what was your first reaction when you were told you would be acting with creatures from the Henson Creature Shop?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we knew what we were getting into at all. But the Henson involvement was very exciting, just the name. Being a huge fan of the Muppets, growing up with that, I knew it would be, from a production value standpoint, something really interesting. But I really had no idea.
Yeah, no, I didn't know what they were going to do, and my first audition was actually at your old offices, and I walked in and I'm surrounded by Kermit. At that point, I just wanted to be with the frog. I didn't realize he's going to be like Rigel.
Seriously, going into the show, Rock and I had been working on the show probably for 4 years before we started into actual production. So there'd been a lot of design work. We knew we wanted to push to the limits creature effects and visual effects beyond what people had been doing in television. We wanted to do something that people had never done in television before. When Ben and Claudia joined, there was really nothing to look at except for reams and reams of drawings. We had lots of drawings of different characters and stuff like that, but you can imagine before Farscape was made, looking at these drawings, you didn't know, yeah, these are all really cool drawings, but what exactly are we going to be making? You have to make a show every 7 days, an hour every 7 to 8 days. And it was, in a lot of ways it was psychotically ambitious. In science fiction, you have to take it very seriously, the world that you're in. All of your characters within the show have to be very sincere and utterly believe the world that they're in, and particularly with creatures, you need to treat them with respect. As soon as you start treating them as rubber, then they're no longer alive, then they're rubber. And Ben, in particular, both of you guys, and the whole cast, were very good at being able to play this fine line of they're alive, they're real, and I'm taking that sincere, but I'm also going to make fun of the fact that they look like rubber.